Well, I found a fascinating concept came through to me from an organisation called Global Health Limited, and they're combining with Jobs for Sport Proprietary Limited. Now, you might not know either of those organisations, and what it's about is getting a coordinated approach to medical records for players, and for coaches too, for that matter. I have Mathew Cherian, the CEO of Global Health, on the line. Hello, Mathew.
G'day, Tim. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Firstly, tell the listeners and me what Global Health is all about.
So, Global Health, we're a Melbourne-based software application developer, and we are fairly strongly focused on just connecting clinicians and connecting consumers. So we have a whole bunch of applications. There are four main ones, one for providers, called Mastercare, one for connectivity called ReferralNet, and then we have a couple for consumer engagement, of which Lifecard is one of those.
Okay. And Jobs for Sport, tell me about that organisation.
So, Job for Sports is a Queensland-based company, and as you can imagine, all rugby fanatics, that saw a huge need to sort of build a multi-sided platform, if you like, which means you have multiple, it's a marketplace, if you like, that connects rugby players who are probably semi-pro or haven't quite made it to professional ranks, but are still good enough players, and they want to choose a club who are able to supply them with employment or a study visa. So it's a marketplace, really, for athletes. Yeah.
And this Lifecard provides information on what the player's health, fitness, what else?
Correct. So Lifecard is something that we've launched in the last 12 months as Global Health, and it's really one of those things, as I'm sure, you know, those of us that have got kids who play sport have always recognized how sad it is that there's no one place where all our records can be found. So, and I've had kids who've had to go for rugby tours or footy tours, and the poor manager has got, you know, reams and reams of files that he has to carry with him. But this is it's the same in any part of life, right? So Lifecard's really all about having all your health records in one place, on a mobile phone, on an app, and that you can take with you wherever you go.
So let me paint this scenario, tell me if I'm right. So a coach is interested in a young player, and he could be an elite player in the future, and wants to know his history, knee injuries, if he's had concussions, that sort of thing. This would all be on Lifecard.
Correct.
Right.
Obviously along with videos of how well he plays.
Well, sure, yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to know how good he is first, or how good she is. So it's been taken up by rugby only so far, or who else?
Yeah, well, the business behind it actually are looking at expanding beyond Rugby Union to include AFL, Rugby League, and eventually netball, soccer, and cricket. I think are the six they've got in their sites. So, but fortunately for us, rugby is the first cab off the rank, if you like.
Well, indeed, and I noticed one of the former Wallabies, Chris Roach, has been very complimentary about it, because I suppose is it a link, if you like, between a very good amateur to become a professional?
I would think so. I mean, and you're starting to play in a marketplace. If you're a club in Queensland, and I'm not a fully on top of the rugby ins and outs, but if you're a club in far north Queensland or in Brisbane and you need a number 8 because someone's had an injury, you're able to access a global marketplace. I think you might be able to pick. I think some of the successes for this particular platform have been players coming across from South Africa to play in New Zealand or Australia. And they got a job that the club sponsors obviously organised for them. So
I noticed that. The South Africans, I think they've got about 2,500 players so far, and they're aiming for upwards of 200,000.
Yeah, I think their first goal was 500 players and 50 clubs, and they exceeded by June, and I think they're well ahead of the. Ahead of their goals, so it's going pretty well.
Well, when you say a personal medical record on Lifecard, just basically what's on there?
So your basic information is obviously your demographics, who you are, your allergies, your medications, the stuff that you've had in the past, the stuff that you've got now, your blood test, any indicators, your pathology, your radiology, and your medical history. You can also share it with your family. You can share it with your physician. You can share it with your fitness coach. I think around September we'll have interfaces to a number of devices. so you can start tracking your fitness KPIs, if you like. And then there might be add-ons for how you manage a condition.
Ideal for players and coaches, but I'm also thinking for recruiters. And just about every club has one of those, and they scout far and wide for players.
I think schools is the other untapped market.
There's another one, yeah.
With all the and the more amateur sports. So the initial thing is obviously jobs for rugby players, but really it's just gigs for rugby players.
A gig for rugby. Well, it's just such a good idea, because rather than making 1,000 phone calls, or as you say, having a filing cabinet full of pieces of paper, it's all there digitally, yeah?
It's all there digitally, and if you've got players coming from Northern Ireland to play in New Zealand or vice versa, or France or Italy, you've got your health record up to date and it's with you, because, the other big challenge is when you get injuries, isn't it? First you've got to keep fit, you've got to manage your health, you've got to manage your comorbidity if you happen to start, developing whatever. And ultimately you want to also make sure that when you get injured, all the information is there, which currently is in the files of probably 15 doctors and hospitals you visited through your life.
Yeah, right. So tell me about the procedure for, let's go with the player. The player wants to be on Lifecard. What do? They obviously log on and then issue all their details, yeah?
Yeah, so if you sign up for jobs for rugby, you automatically get a Lifecard.
Okay.
But if you're not a rugby player or whatever, you can just go to www.lifecard.com and register. It's a freemium version, and then you can also download it from the Apple Store or Google App Store.
Yeah, right.
And there's a freemium version, so that it's not just restricted to athletes, obviously. Yeah. Or rugby, for that matter.
So at this point in time, only rugby so far?
For the sporting world, yes, but we've also got a relationship with the Australian Obstetricians and Gynae College. So we've got something called Digital Babies that we're rolling out to pregnant women. So they need a Lifecard. They need to catch a whole bunch of different measurements and observations. Yep. And then we've got a second, at the other end, we've got an aged care module as well.
Oh, really?
Which is driven out of, we obviously, because it's a consumer app, we're looking at the more populated markets of the world, such as ASEAN, and our Thai distributor wanted us to focus on an elderly aged care module, and we've had interest for a palliative care, and now we've got the sports add-on. So it's across the spectrum from pre-birth to old age.
Sure.
And, each extracts different values, depending on where you are in life, really.
Yeah, well, back to the sporting application, and I hope, and I'm sure they will, other sports take it up, but I love your scenario about the rugby player in far north Queensland somewhere who would like to get a gig and he can't get one, and he's got New South Wales and Victoria, anywhere else, South Africa maybe, to play, and all his information is there for someone else, the coach, to log on to Lifecard the other way around to have a look. Yeah?
Correct. Yeah. And the player gets the job as well, hopefully.
Yeah.
So it's not just, it's amateur, yeah. In the case of rugby player, they'd actually log on to jobs for rugby.
Would they?
Yeah,
yes.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, and global health is part of that, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's a fascinating concept. I can only see that in a very modern, technological, digital world growing. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, every part of our life's changing, isn't it? And only much for the better.
Oh, absolutely it is, and I just think it's a wonderful concept. So there you go, rugby players. Rugby so far, jobs for rugby is where you go, but in the fullness of time, a lot of sports will be involved with that. I can almost guarantee it. I'm sure you'd bet that you'd like that to happen too, Matthew, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait for soccer and cricket to come on, because then you have real...
Oh, my goodness, if soccer comes in, goodness me, the information available there. Eh? If we're one of the clubs in Australia wanting to buy a super special player from Europe, it's all there. Fantastic. Yeah,
you access the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fine idea. Thank you very much for your time. It's great to talk to you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Tim.
The CEO of Global Health, Mathew Cherian.